There's something magical about local community venues in that every single one of us can probably remember a time where you've had either a really important family celebration, maybe it was a wedding party, or maybe it was just a family reunion. Or if you're a kid, you went to a drama class, you learnt to play football, you were part of a community that gave you a sense of belonging, that gave you new skills, gave you a sense of purpose.
As somebody who grew up in the arts, there is something so special about getting together with a group of people who have the same views and the same motivations and the same passions as you, and being able to just have somewhere where there's no shame, there's no stigma, there's no weird societal pressures to be a normal person. You can just do whatever you want to do, and there's nothing to restrict you from doing that. And it fosters such a great sense of independence and confidence.
I think a lot of it's got to do with positive community engagement, positive community economic development.
It's massive to have equitable access to spaces. It's the core of society, I think, in many ways. These are education centres because we don't have, like, once you leave school, in primary school, secondary school, you don't have any other places that really provide education. So a lot of educators around the country use community spaces. So how many classes, when you think about it, whether it's learning to play an instrument or learning a skill, these are education centres and need to be seen as such.
Not everyone has or is lucky enough to have private space that they can use to do these type of activities. So it's just super critical to enabling communities to get together and to prosper and thrive and create new things together, that we make it really easy to matchmake communities with local spaces. And at the moment, it frankly is just too hard. If you wanted to organise a community activity or even just find a space for your kid's birthday party, you'd probably start your search online and find maybe a few spaces that you'd have to ring individually. You might have to wait for someone to get back to you. It's almost impossible to tell when they're actually available, how much they cost. The reason Space2Co is unique in that way is that we're not just a marketplace where anyone can list a space, but we're also a really, really comprehensive booking tool. So at the same time as helping communities find and book spaces, we're also helping liberate the people that work at community venues from a lot of the repetitive admin, which is just as frustrating for them as well.
Before we moved to Space2Co, it was quite tricky.
So our executive director was manually taking bookings by phone, trying to process payments, making sure that there were no overlapping times of people wanting to use the same room, making sure people were coming in and out at the right time. He was doing that all himself. And there are months where we have over 100 bookings a month, and trying to do that and process that manually and invoice those people, that's just, nobody wants to do that.
The reality of it is, if you're not using a booking system, you'll be answering the phone a lot, you'll be answering back and forth emails about availability checks, you'll be creating invoices, refunds, credit notes, chasing invoices, having to have awkward conversations with people about have you paid your bill. And that is where your time goes before you can even start to think about the big ideas that you have around, maybe creating a mural for your space, or doing some placemaking projects, or a new fundraising activity that will raise funds for your space. So the time just gets sucked by the relentless admin of being a bookings, managing bookings at a venue. And that's what Space2Co aims to support these venues with, which is we can take that part of it away from you so that your time can be better spent doing the work that really does help you make an impact for your organisation and within the communities that you serve.
It's cut down our operating time of dealing with bookings 80%. It has reduced the amount of time that I have to sit on the computer and go through and ask people questions and make sure that everything's in order. It has cut down our time frame on that by so much.
So we actually have a lot more time on our hands to do other core roles and to grow the trust and to grow the opportunities. And by doing that, it means that the people who are using our space will benefit from other opportunities that we create, like our new theatre that we are opening in 2022, and we've been able to do that because we haven't spent so much time on that admin end of things with the booking for the venue.
It is the Airbnb of spaces, and it could not be simpler for people to use. So we would get at least one person every week who is totally new to our facility. Sometimes they'll call, sometimes they'll email, and they'll say, hey, look, I've seen this space online, I'm really interested in booking it. I just send them the link to the Space2Co page and they book it.
Yeah, so we knew exactly what we wanted to book, so we just jumped on. It was easy. I mean, you just register as a user. I just went in, bang, 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 book the room, book the time, book the date, click accept, get an automatic email. Yeah, it was easy.
There's this amazing, almost like popcorn effect that communities get when you see new people coming together in a space to talk about a shared issue or to do some sort of activity or create some art. That means that those new connections have been made, and who knows what that will go on to lead and to create for, you know, our neighbourhoods and our society.